Back and
And action.
hi guys, we're back. I'm Jericati here at the 11th Filipino Hollywood panel, and this time this year we're gonna really pick the brain of the voiceover. Yes, so you don't really see them, but you heard their voice, and it's just really fascinating with their talent. Now our next guest is happened to be who is voice director, audio engineer for Street Fighter. Wow, Star Trek Online, Marvel Super War, Chainsaw Man, My Hero Academia, Trigun, Stampede. Wow. So let's get to know him. Please welcome to our show, Geoff Bisente.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
How are you?
Pretty good. Is it your first time here for the panel?
Yes, it is actually. Yeah, I just started meeting a lot of the different Filipinos in the industry, maybe 2-3 years ago. Other than that, I was just kind of floated around.
So what jumpstart you in this career? Because many Filipino families, they want you either become the other professionals and this stereotypical kind of career. Yeah, what motivated you to get into this voiceover in Hollywood?
So I'm actually a trained musician. I've got a couple degrees in music and audio production, and it kind of went from the production side into the studio that I work at now. We did a lot of music, and it started being more voiceover, more voiceover, more voiceover, and that was just kind of like the evolution of how it was. I always admired actors and voice actors growing up, watching a lot of cartoons and anime, but I never really wanted to be an actor. I actually wanted to be a biologist growing up, and then I started listening to Metallica, and that's when everything changed.
Well, from Metallica to biology Metallica, that's unusual. Now, I'm just very curious about this role. What role did you provide for the voice for the Street Fighter?
I was a recording engineer for Street Fighter. I've worked with the production company who does it for a while, and it's just some of the projects that just come in. I'm just like, oh, I'm so elated that I get to work on this, and that was one of the projects I got to work on. So I unfortunately didn't get to voice in any of them. A lot of them that you named off were projects that I produced as an engineer or director.
Engineer, as in like you're doing the.
I recorded the actors, and I worked with the actors to record them and edit their voices, get it sent off to the clients for placement into the games.
Explain the process. I know you're probably dealing with other voice actors as well. And how is that like? Because such as Street Fighter it's an pop culture.
Mhm.
I grew up with Street Fighter,
Yeah.
and just to be part of that moment in the process of making that happen.
The process of it is really cool because as they come in, a lot of the times they're so used to doing this character now that like as soon as they're like, okay, we're ready to go, they just click and they don't need any kind of references or help getting into the voice. And sometimes I have to kind of keep myself really composed because like you said, we grew up with this, and now I get to say I was part of that legacy. So I wait till they leave and then I get giddy. But the process is really cool because they don't see the script beforehand. I don't get to see the script beforehand. I just get everything set up. We get going, and then this amazing groove just starts with these actors, and just line by line, the directors might give just a little bit of kind of reference to what's going on, and then they just produce this amazing performance, and it's so cool to see. And it makes me like fall in love with the job more and more.
So what's next for Geoff?
I'm actually trying to open a food truck.
No way.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So are you any other idea that you can share us?
So during the pandemic specifically, I became more and more of an advocate for Polynesian and Pacific Islander sovereignty and rights and stuff like that. So I learned a lot about my background as someone who's part Samoan as well. And for me specifically, I have a lot of spiritual connections with Hawaii. And most people are more familiar with Hawaiian food than any other Polynesian
Now,
culture.
now you mentioned about Hawaiian food, I'm now salivating.
Yeah.
So, I love kalua pork, the
Musubi.
musubi. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to bring very traditional Hawaiian food to the mainland and also make it kind of like teaching culture, because then I want to bring more Filipino food in and teach cultures about that, because people don't realize how connected Filipinos are to the rest of the Pacific Islands, because everyone just sees us for a lot of our Spanish heritage from the colonization, but a lot of us came from Austronesian roots, down in Australian area in the rest of Polynesia, and we evolved into who we are now, and I love that. So I want to bring that to the rest of LA and anybody else who will listen.
Amazing. So, one last word to our audience: as a mixed race, what can you tell them about the representation of the AAPI in Hollywood in general?
Don't put us together. AA and PI have very, very different histories. Both are very, very proud people, and I think it was one of the most Americanized things to put AA and PI together and try and say that, hey, let's celebrate them as one, because we're not one. We're together and we live in tandem and we all love each other. But we have such separate, rich, beautiful history that I think should be celebrated together, but not in tandem. And that's one of the things I want to bring to the world, is that understanding of who we all are.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for doing the panel for the 11th year of Filipino Hollywood,
Excited for this.
organized by Film Creative. And shout out to your family. Do you have any social media?
I do on Twitter or X and Instagram. You can find me at Geoff Bisente. That's GeoffBisente. My Twitter is a lot about the acting and production stuff. My Instagram is a lot about my strongman stuff that I do and music. So, pick and choose.
Thank you so much. Mahalo. Salamat. Yes. Thank you so much for being on the show with our guest, Geoff Bisente. Don't go away, you guys. We'll be back on Blog Talk.
Hey guys.